area, they'll want to get rolling and they'll want to start getting that lead a little bit to a comfortable point within the first half if they can. But all to play for. It looks to be an exciting game.
So teams out onto court, and it will be Zagreb playing in blue and Manchester playing in white. So ball's up and we're underway, and first possession goes to Manchester, and it's Smith Jr. with the ball.
Yeah, we're just going to apologise if that flag doesn't move out of our screen. You can't necessarily see what's going on. I'm sure someone will tell them to put it down, but we'll try keep you up to date if you can't see everything.
So ball's knocked away, and Zagreb strike first, get onto the scoreboard, and Vidovic gets the first points of the game.
Yeah, nice pass on the break there, and Vidovic cashes in.
And Adetoukasi for Manchester can't answer at the other end. Smith Jr. kicks it out to Jones. Three's up and off the rim. And we know that both teams are teams that like to shoot that three ball, Jason.
They do, and Max Jones always looks to get going early and fire from the outside. That one is off, but it won't deter his confidence.
Rojic gets the ball back. Driving inside, takes it all the way to the basket. And a quick 4-point lead for Dinamo.
You said it, Kaz. Rojic in that one game he played, 20 points. He's continued that and he stays hot.
As Smith Jr. shot spins out. And Zagreb come up with the rebound.
So already, if you're looking at the score, it's a 6 deficit here in Zagreb. So eliminate that first win for Manchester, and those fans have stood up and they are loud and proud. Just what Manchester didn't want.
Manchester looking to get onto the scoreboard here as Jones' shot won't fall. Foul is called, and that will be the first against Dinamo. And 2 free throws to come here for Max Jones.
Yeah, that's a smart move by Max Jones. It just stops the momentum and it allows Manchester to see a couple go through. Well, it looked like it was an offensive foul. So the foul goes against Manchester, and Dinamo will run it back. So momentum still with Zagreb.
Yeah, apologies, foul was on Max Jones, so he picked up his first. Jakovic, and that will be 2 free throws to come for Dinamo. And they're off to a hot start here, Jason.
They have, but I love the leadership by Zach Irvin. He just said, come here, fellas. You know, ex-Michigan player. You know, he's been there and seen it all, and he's just bringing his team in and say, look, everybody calm down. It's an emotional time, and winning on the road isn't easy. But what you do not want to do is allow these Dinamo Zagreb fans to sing louder as this game goes on.
Ikovic doesn't get the first to fall, playing in his 2nd season for Dinamo. Had a 10.5 rebound game against Brussels earlier in the season in the ENBL. As he gets the second, it's a 7-0 lead for Dinamo over Manchester Basketball.
Yeah, Jakovic is a tough cover. He's really in 5th gear whenever you guard him, and he attacks whenever he catches the basketball.
Ball stolen away, and it will be Zagreb possession. They have come out strong to start off this first quarter.
They have, and another bucket from Dinamo will surely force Manchester into an early timeout. Right now, Coach Otten, like Phil Jackson, letting them play through it and see if they can wriggle their way out of this early deficit.
Rojic backing down Smith Jr. Kicks it out, shots up and down. Vidovic takes Dinamo to a 10-point lead.
Too early to panic, I think, Kaz, for Manchester, but they do need to see a bucket go through. Tim Adetoukasi is usually the guy that can penetrate. Here he is.
As Adetoukasi spins, hangs in the air, leaves it short, gets his own rebound though, and finishes on the putback. And that's a much-needed basket there for Manchester.
And I love it when a guy makes you sound good, Kaz. I knew he is the guy that steps up when it matters in terms of nothing doing. He's the get-out clause, and he has been all year, Tim Adetoukasi. So whenever there's a break in play and he ends up with the ball, it's not a bad option for Manchester. But right now, as you see Cameron Hunt still to come into the game, Dinamo Zagreb are rolling.
And Manchester on 4 team fouls with just over 7 minutes to play. So they need to be careful, as the next one will put them in the bonus. Oh, what a pass behind the back. It's broken up though. And Zagreb have it. Polutak fires but can't get it to go. And Manchester have a chance to chip into this deficit.
I'm so surprised that Deloney Hunt hasn't started. I mean, he was so good in that last game, but you cannot question Coach Mullermerik. You cannot question how he's gone about his business. Showed faith in those players, and what a start.
As the ball's stolen back by Zagreb and throws it down, Garafolik makes a statement here in the first quarter, and that will force Manchester into a timeout. So it's a 12-2 lead for Zagreb over Manchester, as we see the ball taken away by Zagreb, and Garafolik's just the one-handed slam.
Yeah, he was out and running. There was no way Matt Nicholson was going to catch him. Probably a good job, because it could have been an and one, and Matt Nicholson could have been on a poster. But a good timeout by Coach Orton to see if he can just rally the troops. But they are up against it here in Zagreb.
And it's been 5 points from Mateo Vidovic, leading the way for Zagreb. And Tim Adatukasi with those 2 points for Manchester. So what kind of adjustments do you want to see here from Manchester coming out of this timeout?
I'm not sure, but if you're looking at bench points in terms of Manchester, they have 302 bench points in the competition to 283. So both teams can bring some punch off the bench. Is it time to insert Jordan Johnson, or shall we let these guys play out if you're the Manchester coach? I'm not so sure. I think you just have to let teams settle down and, you know, not get too carried away, not play any hero basketball, keep it moving. But I would like to see Manchester try up the speed, but that's tough if you're taking the ball out of the bucket.
So back underway, it's Manchester possession. Smith Jr.
So the flag has gone, Kaz, for the time being. There it is.
I think it's come back in the corner. But Max Jones pulls the trigger, shots in and out. And a long pass over, that'll be too much on it as Manchester get it back. But Manchester, they're getting the looks. They've had some good looks so far. Shots have not fallen for them, but is that they've done kind of the hard work?
They have done the hard work, but in the previous fixtures, PJ Smith goes to the bucket and Zach Irvin misses on a baseline cut, as we don't see often. But going back to the style of play, Dinamo Zagreb play better in the half court than Manchester, as Max Jones gets that one to go down. But Manchester's style of basketball is favouring Dinamo Zagreb now, because they're up and down and they're making it count. But good shot by Max Jones from the outside.
And is that what will get Manchester going? As Vidovic drives all the way and lays into.
That was nice, just too quick for Nicholson. Nicholson like a statue on defence there.
Vidovic's a really quick player, likes to certainly use his speed, as Smith Jr. kicks the ball out. Last touch, Dinamo, and it'll be Manchester possession from the sideline.
And into the game comes Ossaboyan, and I think going out Matt Nicholson, that really does change the dynamic. Jordan Johnson in for PJ Smith, but it just allows Nicholson really to take a seat and the game to be sped up. So look for Manchester to get some stops with the Defensive Player of the Year in college back out here.
As Adatukasi, not that time. Ossaboyan setting the screen though, setting up Adatukasi to give him that space to get the shot off.
Yeah, it was a nice pass by Ossaboyan.
Rogic going inside, gets the whistle, so Rocco Rogic will go to the free throw line. And Manchester now in the bonus with 5 minutes left to play in the first.
Yeah, Rocco Rogic, like you spoke about earlier, he is the man of the moment, and definitely a foul by Adatukasi, but these European players so good at drawing the body when they get by the defense. If you're on their hip, you're at their mercy.
Rogic joined Dinamo in March last month, started the season in Italy, averaging 7.2 points a game. He's represented the Croatian national team since 2021. That huge 20-point game in the first leg in Manchester last Wednesday, as he gets the second.
I think just the fact that he's represented the Croatian national team speaks volumes. A country with huge depth in the basketball game.
Jones gets the bounce and the foul, so Max Jones with a chance at a 3-point play. And that timeout has certainly given Manchester a bit of energy that they needed.
It has, and whenever it's got tough and whenever the backs are against the wall, Max Jones has wanted the basketball. The only time he hasn't done it this year was in the final, but every other game where they've needed to bounce back, credit Max Jones, he always brings it.
As he gets the free throw, so 3-point play complete, and that's just the first team foul on Dinamo. They've been very disciplined so far this quarter.
They have, but Manchester have settled down now, Kaz.
As Rogic takes it to the basket.
Wow, posting up Rogic, how do you want it? Penetrating to the basket and then spinning along the baseline. A tough cover.
Johnson to Irvin, out to Adatu Cassie, threes up, off the back iron, and that's another rebound for Dinamo. Rogic out to the wing, and oh, what a shot! The threes falling so far, and leads up to 13 for Zagreb. Osaboyan over to Johnson, and ball will go out of bounds.
Well, many of these guys have played in college and they've played under heated atmospheres, but it's different going into Europe. It's a different setting. You see the old school gym, not playing in the usual gym that they're playing in the hall, but if you look at the backdrop, it's unfamiliar territory for some of these guys, and you know, these European teams really know how to make that count.
Oh, floater doesn't fall. Manchester back on the attack as Smith Jr. draws the foul. That's just a second team foul on Dinamo.
But you can see what they're doing. The professional foul to stop Manchester getting any head of steam, and they do not want this game to be a running game. Any fouls that they can take in the open court, especially early on, they'll take it to slow down the rhythm of Manchester. Manchester yet to get going.
3:35 to play in the first quarter as Smith Jr. hangs in the air, gets it to go, and puts Manchester into double figures.
That was a nice move by PJ Smith. Floated the basketball over the outstretched arms. Had the giant killer go down there, Kaz.
Rogic. 8 seconds on the clock. Vidovic. And it'll be a foul off the ball. Will go against Manchester, so 2 free throws to come.
It's a fine line between being too emotional and playing just over that line, and Max Jones just stepping over there and grabbing from behind. And of course, you are in Dinamo Zagreb. There are going to be calls that this crowd really help with.
So Fran Jukovic back at the free throw line. Jukovic with 2 rebounds, having hit a 1 of 2 from the foul line earlier this quarter. Gets the roll on the first.
What do you think of that mascot, Kaz? That's pretty cool.
That's a pretty cool bulldog, isn't it? It's definitely getting the crowd hyped up. Zikovic doesn't get the second, but gets his own rebound, and another chance here for Zagreb. And time and space for 3 won't go.
Manchester dodge a bullet, but inexcusable to not box out Jukovic on that free throw. It's the second time he's been to the line, misses, rebounds his own shot. That is a no-no.
Jones, hands off to Osaboyan, ball's knocked away. Great defense there from Dinamo.
Jukovic with his hands in as Dinamo come out running.
And Garafolic gets the roll. And Dinamo just extending their lead here in the first quarter, up 14. As Manchester look to get something going, and Smith Jr. will nail it from outside.
It's a nice response by Smith Jr., but would we have thought that Dinamo Zagreb would have been the running team coming into this one? How many layups have they had on the break? They're killing Manchester, and they're giving them a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, Manchester's certainly a team that we know like to run. Zagreb with 6 fast break points so far. Oh, that's good from outside.
Imran Polutak there with the outside jumper. 3-ball, punishing Osaboyan.
As Shelton blocks underneath the basket. Osaboyan gets the rebound, so Manchester get another chance as Johnson sidesteps. Fouled on the 3-point shot. So 3 shots at the line for Manchester. But we talk about that 3-point shooting, Jason. And Dinamo, they're a team that set a record for made threes against Tindastol earlier in the ENBL season. Hit 23 of 38, shooting 60% from behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, it's a huge stat line, but I think the fact that Polutek can step outside and he can score near the basket, but also he can just step out enough to keep you honest. And he's deadly, especially from the middle of the court, from 3-point range, so everyone can shoot the ball. Talking about shooting the basketball, Cal Carey coming into the game, can he get things rolling for Manchester?
Yeah, Carey, a really efficient shooter off the bench for Manchester, that 3-point specialist, as Jordan Johnson.
Sorry, Kaz, I don't read body language very well, but Coach Horton does look like he's concerned at this point. You know, it's not a good start by Manchester. Can they just hang in there?
And the fact these teams have played each other so closely, it was a 3-point win for Manchester in the regular season, 2 points at home for them last weekend. So they're really neck and neck.
They are, but I think in both games, Dinamo did start well and Manchester came back within that second quarter. So can they just get back to that style of basketball as Jordan Johnson spins that Wilson and hopefully sees that one go through? Yes, it does.
Cuts the lead down to 12, and Zagreb having not used any substitutions so far this quarter as Jovic takes it. Jakovic, apologies, takes it to the basket. He'll get fouled.
Foul's called on Duke Shelton as he was moving. We get a chance to see it again. Yeah, he just reached over. He says he had all ball, but nevertheless the call is going to go in favour of the home team.
So Jakovic finds himself back at the free throw line.
I think this is his 3rd trip to the line.
It is, yeah, shooting 2 of 4 so far. He's got 3 rebounds to go along with his 3 points.
Not a good matchup unless you want to be on your heels defensively. He really puts you in a predicament every time he gets that ball.
As he sinks both, and lead is back up to 14 for Dinamo. Manchester with some work to do here early on. As Smith Jr. stops, finds Shelton, ball's loose on the floor. And we see Delonnie Hunt into the game for the first time for Zagreb. And oh, another 3 drops from Savic.
Really nice ball movement, Kaz, on the break. That secondary fast break, Savic all alone.
Manchester not able to answer, but a whistle on the play. And just as I'd said, Dinamo haven't used any substitutions. We have Delonnie Hunt into the game and Lucas Avdilovic.
This is great ball movement. Look how open Savic is on the break, and that was Manchester in the game before, using that extra pass and gaining the advantage as Osaboyan looks for that and he's successful. But going back to the style of play, it's now Dinamo Zagreb that are out running and punishing the defense of Manchester.
Dinamo with 11 fast break points. Manchester yet to score in transition.
One thing Manchester could realise is that if Osaboyan does catch the ball up top, he can play like that point forward that he's used to playing, handle the basketball, get the defence and force the issue, because they don't seem to have anything else going in the half court. Good hustle by Cal Carey.
Great rebound from Carey, gets Manchester a second chance on offence. Smith Jr. has space, can't get it to go. And Manchester not able to hold on to the rebound as Rogic takes it all the way. And Manchester back down the floor. Smith Jr. out to Johnson. And Johnson draws the foul, so we'll go back to the foul line as both teams in the bonus with just under 37 seconds to play in the first.
Dinamo are really clued in on Manchester's fast break and secondary fast break. Not only are they slowing the team down, but in the half court, when they get into around that 6 or 7 second mark, they're closing out and making Manchester force an extra pass, and they've done it really well. That time they pick up the foul, but the rotation is really good defensively. Zagreb getting it done by committee.
So a 32-17 lead for Zagreb in the first quarter. This is a very high scoring quarter, 32 points in the first.
Yeah, well, it's bad news bears for Manchester, because they have been taking the basketball out through their own cylinder, and it's not enabled them to get out into the running game. Dinamo Zagreb dictating everything at this point.
So Johnson misses the first, one more to come.
Avdilovic into the game. Is he going to inflict more pain like the bench has just done on Manchester?
Johnson gets a second, down to a 14-point lead for Zagreb as they have possession. Rogic. He's been a huge boost for Zagreb since he signed with them. Savic. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Rogic, and a whistle on the floor. Is that a foul call?
Yeah, I think Jordan Johnson adjudged to just trip. Yeah, he did trip Rogic. It was inadvertent, but still it affected the offensive player, so good call by the referee.
So Zagreb go back to the free throw line. Rogic with 6 points and 6 assists already here in the first quarter. Gets the first to fall. Takes Dinamo up to 33 points in the first. Now make it 34, a huge first quarter here. And Dinamo, a team that averaged 90 points a game. They're well on their way to that here.
Yeah, it's not the start that any Manchester fan would have liked. They have got it going slightly, so
they can hold for the last shot of the quarter.
Zach Irving moving well without the basketball. It'll be Savic that was holding onto his jersey, looking to plead his case, but the referee's being consistent at either end.
So Zach Irving goes to the free throw line. Dinamo shooting 7 of 9 from the stripe in this quarter, 4 of 7 for Manchester. As Irving will take the free throws for Manchester.
Chris Dodds with the call there, the referee that we see plenty of within the English game. He was on the ball right there.
As Irving doesn't get the first to go. Zach Irving, one of 2 returning players for Manchester basketball this season, alongside Kyle Carey. And second spins out. As ball's down the floor, and with time running down, Dinamo can't get it to go. So at the end of the first quarter, it's a 34-18 lead for Dinamo. They've been led by Rocco Rogic with 8 points and 6 assists. Hrvoje Garafolik adding in 7 points. And for Manchester, Max Jones with 6 points and PJ Smith Jr. with 5. So a really fast-paced first quarter there for Dinamo, Jason.
Yeah, they've come out exceptionally well.
It's too early. The bed is so warm. My body feels sore. But excuses won't sculpt my future. It's time to rise. Strength isn't found in the comfort zone. It's built through the challenges, where you're reaching for your potential, pushing past limits and reaching new heights. I've found my strength. Now it's your turn. My Fitness, world-class gym and studios.
Jason, as we were saying, a really hot start there for Zagreb. 34 points in the first quarter.
Well, it's helped. They've had layups, as you see the dunk there in the open court. They've had either layups or, secondary jumpers off the fast break, as we can see there. And they've just dictated the pace. They've played really, really good defence though. They've stayed in front of Manchester, made them take uncomfortable shots. If it's been at the half court, they've moved the basketball well. But more importantly, they've had easy ones. And Manchester need to eliminate those to get any chance of getting back into this game.
And something that really stands out here, so 9 rebounds for Manchester, 5 of them offensive, and that's led to 7 second chance points. And no second chance points for Dinamo, but 14 points in the paint. They're scoring and they're making the shots.
Yeah, but the reason there's no second chance points is they're running everything back in. If you score 34 points in a quarter, there's not going to be many offensive rebounds going.
So back underway for the second quarter, and a foul to start things off on the baseline.
It was a really good pass by Avdilovic right into Pulatek. Pulatek will shoot the free throw, but he moves so well without the basketball and locates exactly in the right position. A smart player.
Yeah, really experienced player as well, playing his 13th season overall. His first with Dinamo, as he goes 2 of 2 from the line. Manchester looking to cut into this lead. And a stop at the other end, so foul will go against Zagreb.
Yeah, Vidovic just reaching in. Jordan Johnson doing a good job. As soon as he felt contact, went into the shooting motion, will get him to the line.
And Jordan Johnson, we've seen him throughout the season, whether it's been in the ENBL or the Super League. He's a player that can get fast, quick points on the board for Manchester.
He can, but he does like to keep the ball. It's been fruitful for Manchester basketball this season, so many occasions, and he's done his thing at the point. But right now, if you dribble that basketball, all the defense is loaded up against you. You're playing 1 against 5, so for me, that ball has to keep moving on offense, and Manchester have to stay active at both ends of the court.
As Johnson gets both. Dinamo up 16 here in the first half. Vidovic. And Hunt saves the ball, back to Vidovic. Runs into Smith Jr. Polutak going inside, and an offensive foul is called. Manchester will have possession back.
Well, if anyone knows how to position themselves, it's Osaboyan. He's usually at the other end of that one, dipping his shoulder. That time he gets in good defensive position and takes the charge. Good move by Gabe Osaboyan.
And if you're Manchester here, you're looking to try and cut this to around that 10-point mark before you go into half-time, and then kind of take it down to single digits. That you don't have to pull back all 16 points all at once. Oh, what a pass over to Irvin. Great awareness there from Johnson.
And he's got a habit of turning us into a fan, Kaz, because we were just going to talk about strategy. And let's forget that. Let's just watch Jordan Johnson and marvel at the skill as he puts that one right on a dime.
And
lovely pass.
Back cut from Zach Irvin. We're so used to him seeing him do that.
How many times are we going to say Zach Irvin cuts and finds the easy layup? Good timeout called by Zagreb though. They don't want to let Manchester get going. As soon as there's a sniff that they will gain any momentum, the coaching staff immediately get that timeout ready so that they can calm things down. Good coaching.
So the winner of this matchup will face in the Final Four Sintanix from Germany, who won their quarterfinal matchup last week. They are the first team qualified for the Final Four. And what a great season it's been in the ENBL so far.
Yeah, it is, and European basketball is so good to watch now. You know, we talk about the NBA and March Madness and everything that's going on in the States, but in terms of leagues around the globe, you know, European basketball is at a real pinnacle. And I really, really love watching the ENBL, not just these two teams, but the other teams that have been involved in it. We had the success of Newcastle last year getting to the final, so can Manchester replicate that and try really dig deep and come back tonight?
Yeah, and it's certainly a great representation of the British game to have teams representing as coming out of the timeout, and that's an early timeout called as well for Dinamo.
It is, but all they were doing is trying to stop any momentum that Manchester would have. And I think they are masters in that, in terms of slowing down the fast break. If Manchester get on an emotional roll, the coaches will call a timeout, you know, something will slow the game down, and Dinamo Zagreb will want this one to be played at their speed, but they've started it exceptionally well. 14-point cushion already. It's just what the doctor ordered.
And we should say, so that is essentially a 12-point cushion overall, with Manchester having 2 points in hand from the game last week.
Yeah. Well, we both know, Kaz, anyone tuning in and listening to both us commentate, that you'll be the math specialist going down the stretch, but I can deal with the 2-point cushion, that's for sure.
So substitution for Manchester Basketball as Max Jones checks in and PJ Smith Jr. goes to the bench. It is Dinamo ball from the sideline. It looks like referees are just confirming something with the table.
Teams will be asked to go to their benches just so they can sort everything out. No referee, Kaz, but I love the communication displayed.
Yeah, so we don't have an insight there as to what they are discussing, but at the moment I think it might be, is it the shot clock? Looks like the shot clock might be an issue, but as it stands it's 36-22 to Dinamo over Manchester Basketball. 8:55 to play in this second leg matchup. And Jason, these are teams now that they played each other twice already, so they're going to be very familiar with how they play. How is that difficult for the coaching staff to try and adapt and try something new?
I think one of the difficulties is a lot is beyond their control. You know, coaches by nature want to control certain things, but they also have to just trust their players. Players will make plays down the stretch, and yeah, they'll have done their homework at both ends, but we didn't see this style of game coming in. We saw Manchester trying to exert themselves in their running game, and Dinamo picking them off in the half court. It's been exactly the mirror image of that. You know, both teams really playing out of their comfort zone, and the good thing for these fans that are waving that flag up there, luckily not on our screen anymore, are really playing well, and they're playing fluid at home. So yeah, I don't know in terms of coaches changing things. I think players just have to step up.
So it looks like we're good to go back out on court. Whatever the issue was has been resolved, so it is Dinamo ball. Garafolik, hands off. Rogic pulls, blocked by Carey. But then ball's back into the hands of Garafolik.
Yeah, they're probably going to talk about the clock again, so another issue, I think, with the clock and how many seconds is left on. A good block by Kyle Carey with his left hand.
Block. And that's great defense as well, because that's pretty much a sure shot from that point.
It is, but all these things, all these stoppages do not help the visiting team, Manchester. When you're trying to get back into the game, you have a block there. Can you get a quick stop? Can you make a shot at the other end? And now everything deflates, and Dinamo have time to rebuild. So it's no fault of Dinamo Zagreb. It's not it's tactic they're employing, but it just doesn't help when the clock has stopped a couple of times and they have to talk about how long is left on it.
Because you're trying to keep up that momentum and build
you're trying to gain momentum.
So we'll go again from the sideline. And it'll be Dinamo possession. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, pass out, loads of space there. Well, Artak can't get it to fall, but that's a great look for him. And Manchester looking to try and cut into this as Osaboyan takes it, hangs in the air. And a travel called. It will be Dinamo ball.
I think Osaboyan thought he executed the Euro step very well, but I think in any game, small steps count, and he picks up the travel.
On a quick pass over as a foul on the shot. Be called against Carey. Carey took a bit of a knock as he went to the floor, but looks like he's okay. As a great pass. Blue attack just ready and waiting on the baseline.
So the higher the stakes, Kaz, the more margin of error cannot be really done, as Manchester will get the basketball back.
So
but
that was just a strong defensive play from Carey there. Apologies, no foul.
It was, however, just as Manchester have not boxed out on a free throw, they've already, off an inbounds pass, let Zagreb go all the way down court and nearly had a dunk. They're going to have to tighten these things up.
As Johnson steps back, three's off the rim. And the rebounding here from Manchester, do you want to see him crash the boards a bit more? As looks like Johnson's just gone down in the backcourt. He's back in play. And Irvin will take it to the basket, lays in two.
Nice defense by Gabe Osaboyan there, getting his hands in and stripping the basketball, allowing Zach Irvin to run it the full length of the court.
Vidovic, Garafolik, good ball movement here as Savic pulls up, doesn't get it to drop. As Manchester have a chance to cut this to single digits, and Irvin powers his way inside, and it won't fall.
So close there for Manchester. They're starting to gain some momentum, starting to percolate here on this basketball court, and that one unlucky for Zach Irvin, it rims out.
Blatek, great hands off under the basket. Again, shots not dropping at the moment for either team here.
It gives Manchester a chance to really get back at the defence, as Gabe Osaboyan will hand over to Max Jones, and a bad play.
Garafolik read the pass and gets the ball back, is fouled on the shot, so that will send Garafolik to the line.
Yeah, miscommunication by the Manchester number 3 there, Gabe Osaboyan, as he tried to hand the ball off to Max Jones, and it was picked off defensively. But Manchester starting to feel like they can come into the game. Dinamo Zagreb will want to get into half-time with that 10-point cushion intact.
Manchester certainly have slowed Zagreb's scoring down this quarter. It's been a 6-2 run for Manchester so far, after Dinamo put up those 34 points in the first. So the first free throw spins out for Garafolik, shooting 66.7% from the foul line this season. So he doesn't get a second. Jones with a rebound. Again, Manchester looking to cut this down to single digits. Johnson hangs in the air, shot short. Over 6 minutes to play. Paponia. Blue attack pulls up. Not that time, and Johnson back down the floor. Carey. Out to Jones.
Jones, for me, has to go right here. He has to get by his guy. He did the right thing. But when Manchester are struggling to find a bucket, only 24 points at this point, somebody has to get going. It's usually been Max Jones. Whether he scores or whether he facilitates, he has to stay in attack mode.
Yeah, Manchester, a team that are 4th in the ENBL in points per game, 91.3. This is certainly a lower scoring game for them so far this half.
It is. I mean, go back to the fact that we did say already that Dinamo Zagreb, they're putting that ball through, but they've dried up a little bit recently, so now is the chance for the road team to gain some momentum. But once again, a stoppage in play, and everything is calmed down. Apart from that guy on the screen.
Got a great crowd in Zagreb, as it will be sideline ball for Manchester. So Zagreb on 3 team fouls, Manchester on 2 this quarter. As Jones looks to get the ball in, Johnson's there. Johnson with 10 seconds. Johnson dances his way all the way to the basket, and it's a 10-point game. And we will have a timeout called by Zagreb And that's a good start to the second for Manchester, an 8-2 run.
It is another tactical timeout called by Zagreb just to try thwart that. But yeah, you're right, a nice run for Manchester. The crossover by Jordan Johnson below the knee, allow it not to be stealed, and he goes right to the bucket, and he gives Manchester a glimmer of hope going towards the end of the first half. Deloney Hunt still on the bench. We've only seen him for a few minutes. Not sure whether that's good or bad news for Manchester.
Yeah, just playing just under 3 minutes for Hunt off the bench as Johnson, you can see him there, just takes it all the way to the basket. Zagreb almost got sleeping a bit on that last possession. And it's been Johnson off the bench with 7 points, leading the way for Manchester. And for Zagreb, Rocco Rogic, 8 points and 5 assists.
It's a shame really that the camera angle is at this side, because the fans are so good here in Zagreb. You know, if they watch this back, you know, they are a credit to their basketball team. They're definitely the sixth man within the building. They are so loud, and we've got a few snippets of them early on. They're really getting behind their basketball team, all in black.
They certainly are. Certainly make an atmosphere as well for Dinamo to play in. And that's tough, isn't it, when you're an away team and you're coming into a building, you know, it's a gym where it's really the sound carries, and you've got a lot of chanting, a lot of cheering against you. It's tough. Yeah,
and the gym being a kind of an old, small gym, it makes it a little bit more intimidating, and a lovely place to play if you're the home team, not so good if you're away.
Savic can't get the three to fall, but the offensive rebound falls to Dinamo. And that's something Manchester have given up, a few of those extra chances, as Papunia is fouled on the floor.
Yeah, everything not going the way of Manchester. If they can get some scores, they don't seem to get any stops. If they can get some stops, they're missing at the other end, and they have yet to put, I would say, 2 minutes of really good play together.
So that's the third foul on Manchester, as we see Carey head to the bench and Matt Nicholson check into the game. Does Zagreb go again? Papunia. Papunia from outside, nets it! A huge shot.
How good was the patience of Papunia and the poise off that screen as Matt Nicholson hits him with the blinded screen, but a really nice shot for three by Zagreb.
Johnson set things up for Manchester. Trying to create some space, steps back, three's up and in! And a great response there for Johnson and Manchester.
Yeah, talking about poise, Jordan Johnson dancing off the screen, a replica play from the other end. Says anything you can do, I can do also.
Johnson now up to 10 points, leading all scorers, and has really been that spark for Manchester off the bench. Those threes too strong for Jokovic. Manchester a chance to cut this to single digits after being down 18 points earlier on, and that's the fourth team foul on Zagreb, so the next one puts them in the bonus and will put Manchester at the foul line for the rest of the quarter.
We'll give both teams a lot of credit for what we're watching here. Dinamo Zagreb losing that first game, coming back and punching first and really putting Manchester on their heels. But Manchester, time and time again, after every loss they've had this year, they've bounced back, and they've done just that within this game already. Now they're coming back as we find ourselves in the bonus early on.
And Jones goes 2 of 2 from the line, so it's an 8-point game.
Maybe a big factor being in the bonus here, because with 4 minutes and change remaining in the half, they cannot foul to thwart that break. And Manchester have a chance to get out and run here uncontested. Can they get some stops?
Pulutak inside, and that'll be a foul against Manchester. So that'll send Pulutak to the line.
How about the footwork by the big fella? Put Matt Nicholson, spun him like laundry there.
Imran Pulutak averaging 13.7 points a game and 6.5 rebounds for Dinamo this season. Leads Dinamo in rebounds per game. Had a double-double against Brussels with 10 points and 11 boards. As he gets the first. Takes himself up to 8 points. Puts the lead back up to 9 for Dinamo. And second one drops in, back to a double-digit lead.
And those fans on the side there, we saw them earlier, they can play.
They were shooting.
Yeah, those little kids watching that basketball game, they were quite impressive before these teams came out. So future's bright in Zagreb.
Well, Zagreb, known as a club that really develops young talent there. They were founded in 1972, and the players that have come through, they're really putting it in at the youth level. As ball's out to Smith Jr. in the corner! Smith Jr. with a big bucket for Manchester. It's just a 7-point game, a 5-point game on aggregate. As Dinamo look to answer and do.
I was just going to say, if you're Manchester, stay in front, do not gamble. And Novicic makes them pay.
Straight off the bench, straight onto the scoreboard. Smith Jr. dancing around the outside. Goes baseline. Oh, finds Jones, who puts in 2. What a pass from Smith Jr.
Did he dance on the wing there? He really took his time and found Max Jones. Max Jones has his easiest bucket he's probably going to get tonight.
Paponia out to Savic. Shot doesn't go. Smith Jr. leading the way. Out to Johnson. Johnson thought about it. Will reset. That's a good decision there from Johnson. Johnson steps back, three's up. And ball tips into the hands of Zagreb. And will go out of bounds. Manchester will have it back.
This is the type of game that Manchester basketball need. They need the ball to be going up and down. Zagreb cannot foul to stop them in the open court. They tried on PJ Smith, but PJ Smith judged to not be fouled there. But Manchester have license to run right now. If you're them, full pedal to the metal.
So a timeout called, and it's been an 18-9 run for Manchester so far this quarter. That's a huge swing.
It is. In basketball, an amazing game in terms of run strategy. You know, every team has their run within games, and can you weather that and get your own going? Manchester seem to have done that, and they're starting to get back within striking distance. Zagreb, all they'll be looking to do is try and keep this lead going into the half, and they'll have that psychological advantage going into the second half, but it could go anywhere.
So a 7-point lead for Zagreb. That's 5 on aggregate. That makes things, as you're heading towards half-time for Manchester, certainly feel a lot more manageable.
Yeah, it does.
And it's been Jordan Johnson with 10 points and Max Jones with 10 for Manchester basketball. And then Rocco Rogic with 8 points. And Imran Poluatak with 9 for Dinamo.
There are those fans making some noise here in the building.
There's the flag.
Yeah.
As the team's getting ready to come back out onto the court. So just under 3 minutes to play here in the first half.
If you're Manchester here, that basketball has to move. You have to make Zagreb play defense. They are in the bonus. One-on-one basketball, not really going to get it done as PJ Smith pulls from the outside.
And that's a big shot from Smith Jr. It's down to a 4-point game. A huge run from Manchester in this second quarter. We're down 18 points earlier on. Although this certainly mirrors what we saw last week with Dinamo being down. Oh, what a shot from the outside. ENBLeague, I mean, that's his specialty. Such a lights-out shooter is ENBLeague. So Smith Jr. will answer, and we've got a shootout on our hands here in the second quarter.
Now this is a ball game. It started to heat up here in Zagreb, and with 1 minute 45 remaining, I'm not sure I want this first half to end. It is really starting to get going.
Ball's intercepted by Johnson, and an offensive foul is called. So offensive foul before the pass out. Manchester get the ball back.
Yeah, and if you would have shut your eyes and guessed who would have taken that charge, your money would have been on Gabe Osaboyan, Defensive Player on the Year back at West Virginia. There's no coincidence.
How many charges have we seen him take this season? Puts his body on the line for the team.
Yeah, he's given a few as well at the other end.
So Smith Jr. hits the first for Manchester, takes it down to just a single possession game on the floor and on aggregate. So one more shot to come. And this essentially, if Smith Jr. makes this, essentially puts the teams back to 0-0.
It does.
And just before half-time, 95 seconds left in the first half. Oh, so that was a technical foul called. So that's just one free throw. That was Smith Jr. shooting the technical free throw. Apologies, missed who that was on. As Smith Jr. again doesn't get it to fall, but ball's saved by Adatu Kassi. Johnson driving inside. That'll be a travel call.
Yeah, really good defense by Zagreb. They walled up on Johnson.
So the technical foul was called on, it was a coach technical against Coach Milomerovic. So a 3-point game on the floor in Zagreb. Ball's out to the corner. Hand off under the basket's taken away by Nicholson. And Smith Jr. finds Johnson. Johnson lines it up. That's short, but Carey's there for the rebound. And an offensive foul. Is that off the ball?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Kyle Carey's body language doesn't usually lie. I think, did he just sneak by the defense? Yeah. I think he was unlucky on that call. He was adjudged to pull the defense, and it goes back the other way as Zagreb. Kyle Carey, usually a very honest player, will just put his hands up so you know that he thinks that wasn't a foul, but nevertheless, Rogic ends up at the line.
Rogic had the hot hand in the first quarter for Dinamo. Hits the first free throw.
Rogic has been good, Kaz.
He certainly has, and obviously playing in the Italian league to start the season before making the move over to Croatia. Goes 2 of 2 from the line.
Two nice countries to play in if you're a professional basketball player.
Certainly.
Both Italy and Croatia have their beautiful spots, that's for sure.
The final minute of the first half. Dinamo picking up full court as the ball's in the hands of Johnson. Johnson using the screen from Nicholson. And that'll be a foul against Dinamo.
Love the call by the official. It was a call that Johnson picked up in the first half, an inadvertent foul, but as he turned that corner, the contact forced him to go down, so good consistent refereeing. Politak will argue and say it's not, but which player doesn't?
I don't think a player has ever committed a foul ever on a basketball court.
There are some honest ones. There are some honest ones. I would like to say, I'm not sure. I think Zach Irving would. I don't see Zach Irving ever argue when he calls.
So Johnson, 6 of 8 from the line, gets the second as well, takes him up to 7 of 9, and again it's just a 3-point game here on the floor in Zagreb. Kolatek, Garafolic, 7 seconds on the clock, 5 seconds, Garafolic driving all the way, bounces out. Manchester have 14 seconds to make something in the first half.
This is the time to back the ball up if you are Jordan Johnson.
6 seconds, Johnson drives, hands off, and Nicholson throws it down. And with 1.2 seconds, with time running down here at the end of the first half, that is a huge comeback for Manchester. So a 1-point lead for Dinamo on the floor. Manchester leading by 2 on aggregate will give Manchester a 1-point lead overall.
Yeah, and that was so nice. I hope we're going to get to see it twice. As Jordan Johnson there creating an easy bucket for Matt Nicholson. We're not going to see that. But 48 plays 47 here. On aggregate, Manchester have that 1-point slender cushion.
And what a huge run that's been for Manchester, 29-14 in the quarter. We can see both teams shooting well from the three-point line, both hitting 6. And the rebounds, Manchester just edging it there, 19-15.
Yeah, much of a muchness as you would expect, with the scoreline at the top being 1 point. But credit the response by Manchester basketball. First of all, credit Dinamo Zagreb for coming out here and setting the intensity. But Manchester have responded oh so well.
And it's been Patrick Smith Jr., 15 points for Manchester. Hitting 4 threes in the first half. And alongside him, Jordan Johnson off the bench with 12 points. And for Dinamo Zagreb, Roko Rogic, 10 points, 6 assists, and then 9 points from Imran Kulatak, along with 4 rebounds. So teams neck and neck as we head into half-time, Jason.
Yeah, it's all that we wanted, and it's all that any fan wants. Any neutral fan that is watching any basketball game is a closely contested basketball game.
And something you mentioned earlier on, that we've not quite seen Manchester not been able to get that running game going, get onto the fast break. 11 fast break points for Dinamo that we saw in that first quarter, especially to Manchester's 2.
So if you're Dinamo, you have to keep running, and because you've found success, especially by moving the basketball for open jumpers, but the scoring for them is twofold. It stops Manchester get into their running game. If you're Manchester, put some pressure on Dinamo to pick up those fouls so they cannot stop you in transition. But what a beautiful play to finish off the half.
I think it's got massive potential. I remember in the 80s, basketball came through and then you thought it was going to catch on and it didn't quite. But I think there's so much interest out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, the atmosphere today, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, it's really great. The pace, the power, the sport is really great to see live. So, yeah, I can see Manchester basketball growing and growing over the years. And I'm here to say I'm right behind them. But we're proud of Manchester basketball. It's going to be a big Manchester iconic brand in the future.
We love that.
But what's about the phone number on the front? There's no kid in Greater Manchester who knows what 0161 is anymore.
It's like the slogan.
Do you know what 0161 is?
I mean, I'm a youngster, so I'm almost 075, you know. But my last question is, I mean, you kind of answered it already, but in terms of the mayor's office, I mean, what more can be done in terms of just raising the brand of Manchester basketball and just the whole community feel in terms of the parks and regenerating the parks, stuff like that? How well can the mayor's office help to progress that as well?
Well, the thing is, isn't it? Basketball is a simple sport to play, isn't it? And there's definitely a possibility of putting more courts in across Greater Manchester.
Yeah.
You know, we just want all kids to have access to all sport.
Yeah.
And I think basketball's got massive growth potential.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, my organisation, we're right behind the growth of the sport. And let's talk about girls basketball as well,
definitely.
and women's basketball. I think it's got massive growth potential,
100%.
and we just want to see more and more of this. We're the sport capital of the UK, aren't we?
100%.
And I think we need to be the basketball capital of the UK as well.
I love that. I mean, there's Andy Vernon, the Mayor of Manchester, speaking positively on Manchester basketball. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hvala svima i vidimo se.
Welcome back into Zagreb as we get ready for the second half between Dinamo Zagreb and Manchester Basketball in the ENBL quarterfinals. It's the second leg, and as we head into the third quarter, Dinamo have a 48-47 lead over Manchester on the court, but on aggregate, Manchester have a 1-point lead after that 2-point win last week.
It's set up perfectly. If you're just joining us, you're joining at the right time, because Dinamo Zagreb did go up early. They punched first, and Manchester came back. And did they come back with some really good play? They were able to get their running game in order, get some easier shots, and force their way back into this contest. But all to play for here in Zagreb, and a hostile crowd is really meaning it'll be tough for Manchester Basketball to pull this one out. Can they do it?
Sorry, Jason. Yeah, of course. It was a really interesting 2 quarters there. 34 points from Dinamo in the first quarter, 29 from Manchester in the second. So both teams had their runs.
Well, it helped with Jordan Johnson coming off the bench. He paced them at Manchester, and he kept the basketball like he usually does. But he made good decisions, and then Max Jones joined the party, and PJ Smith was able to contribute. But collectively, they've really upped the defense as well, which has helped.
They certainly have, and obviously when you have defenders out there for Manchester, such as Kyle Carey, Gabe Osaboyan, that 2-man game there is going to be really impactful.
Yeah, and it's against their principles to let anyone get going and have fun against them. Gabe Osaboyan will come into the ball game and he'll really affect the game without having terrific stats. He'll just pick up a charge, he'll get an interception, he'll just allow Manchester to do what they do, and he's a facilitator and he's a key cog in this Manchester Basketball team.
And for Kyle Carey, a +6 in a game that Manchester are down by 1. That shows the impact that he has on the floor, excuse me.
Yeah, but also ready to come in and play at that intensity. Kyle Carey, we saw him with the block at one end where they got the basketball back. He's had a couple of rebounds, was unlucky on that offensive rebound. But you know, those are 2 guys that will bring that energy, and it's what's needed when you're playing on the road. And it looks like 0-0 here in Belgrade. Well, it is more or less.
It's a 1-point lead on the floor for Zagreb. So the winner of this matchup across the 2 legs will head into the final 4 and play Sintanix from Germany. They qualified last week.
So what do you make of the old school gym, Kaz? I love it.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah. It's great. It's got the old school climbing bars on the side, and it's certainly one of those gyms that makes for a really intense atmosphere when it's packed.
I feel like looking through the screen, you can smell the wooden floor, you can sense the atmosphere. I think it's really cool.
It's great.
Those glass boards in the background. I mean, it just goes back to old school playing days, and look at those fans on the old school bleachers. I'm enjoying this one.
This might be an interesting change of venue as well for Zagreb. They usually play at the Drazen Petrovic Sports Hall, so that's they're not playing in necessarily their home gym, so this could be a little bit of an adjustment for them.
I think they'll practice in this gym. It may be even better for them because they may use this as a practice facility. I'm sure they've been here on more than one occasion, so it will feel like home to them. And being a little bit smaller, it will allow the fans to really get behind the team and make it louder, somewhere you don't really want to come into and play. So I think it'll favour Zagreb in this second half, and it looks like Hunter's got his top off, and he may be ready to be starting the second half. Because
we saw Delonnie Hunt playing just under 3 minutes in the first half. The ENBL's leading scorer this season with 23.6 points a game. He's been huge for Zagreb, but they have really stepped up with him not being out on court as much.
Well, they have, and Rogic has the double digits in 10 points. He played 12 minutes. But, are they going to have... Yeah, there is Delonnie Hunt coming out, and will he be playing with Rogic in the backcourt? What a matchup that is, PJ Smith and Delonnie Hunt.
That's a fun matchup, isn't it? As third quarter is underway and it's Manchester possession. They have a chance to take their first lead of the game as Jones kicks it out to Adatu Kassi. It won't go.
Good luck for Manchester in the first half. They had no good looks for the first 4 minutes. That one's a wide open one by Tim Adatu Kassi, and he just is off.
And it was Zagreb that took a double-digit lead very early on in the first quarter. As 3 doesn't go, Smith Jr. with the rebound.
So tight defense and running in the first half, and both teams have just had a wide open 3 to start off. Max Jones will get things going with the wide open swish, nothing but net.
And that will give Manchester their first lead of the game so far, up 2 on the floor. That gives them a 4-point lead overall on aggregate. And a whistle on the court.
Kick ball by Tim Adatu-Kassi. The shot clock will go back to 14. Enough time for Dinamo Zagreb to get a good looking shot.
Vidovic. Hunt. Swings it round. Garafolik inside. Follow attack against Nicholson on the baseline as the ball will go into the backcourt and Manchester will get it back.
Good defensive possession by Manchester. Are they going to be the ones to get out early in this second half? They were playing from behind in all the first half, so it would be nice for them to be in front.
So Johnson to inbounds. Smith Jr. Smith Jr. having hit 4 threes in the first half for Manchester. As Jones goes inside, runs into traffic. Zagreb just making a stand under the basket as Hunt will take it and gets his first points of the game.
Hunt wasting no time at the other end. Max Jones has gone down and he tried to take the ball up and score. If you're looking for a whistle, find your own at that end, as no call allows. Oh, not Max Jones that went down. There's a no call allowed Hunt to go the other end, but
so Vidovic.
Let's hope Vidovic is okay.
He's helped up by his teammates. He took a tough fall at one end.
Oh yeah. Max Jones had no way of knowing where his left arm was going there. Just came down, I think, right in the nose area of Vidovic. But both players are okay.
And we're tied at 50 all. Manchester having won in Zagreb in the regular season gave Dinamo their first home loss of the season. As Smith Jr. has space and nails it.
That was beautiful. Not only the way that Smith Jr. went along the baseline, but having the basketball on a string, Jordan Johnson delivers at the right time. Nice play by the 2 point guards.
Hook shot short for Pilatek, but picked up by Jakovic. And a handoff there. Pilatek gets the basket and the foul call.
You have to feel for Matt Nicholson. When he turned around, he already saw Pilatek elevating and going with the right hand, and all he could do was foul. But look at the dexterity of Pilatek to finish and contort his body for the layup. That is a nice play.
It certainly is, and that's what makes him so dangerous, because we've seen him hit that 3-point shot from outside. We've seen him take it to the basket. He can just score from anywhere he wants to.
Apart from the free throw line.
That's the commentator's curse. I'll take responsibility for that. But he is such a dangerous cover for Manchester.
His timing off those ball screens as well is really good.
As Jones to Nicholson, out to Johnson. Johnson steps back, three's up. That's short. And Dinamo with a chance to go back on top with this possession. Hunt pulls up for the long 2, doesn't get the bounce, and what a rebound there! Garafolik. That's a really tough shot.
Wow, he went over all the defense, and he probably only had his fingertips on the basketball. Look,
yeah.
There he is, and he just lets that one go, and Nicholson once again, just before he knew it, he'd fouled.
So Zagreb take the lead back after that free throw. Garafolik with a 3-point play. Johnson gets the ball over the halfway line. Being pressured by Vidovic. And Johnson out to Jones. Jones, 3, too strong. And again, another big rebound from Pulatak. And Hunt draws the foul. So 2 free throws to come. And that's some quick fouls there on Manchester that they're going to need to try and manage.
It is, but the key here is he has the basketball in his hands and is in his shooting motion as PJ Smith makes contact. So really good heads-up play by Delonte Hunt. Definitely the right call. We'll go to the line and try extend a slender lead and get this one to 4 points on the night. 2 points overall. Where's that guy with the flag? Can we get rid of that flag?
And Hunt,
there it is, look.
Hunt had a 44-point game against Split in the domestic league. He doesn't get a second free throw. Smith Jr. Johnson. Johnson going all the way to the basket, hangs in the air. And that's a foul against Dinamo.
Foul called by the outside official. The call was the right one. It was late, but the right call. As Jordan Johnson elevated and he's taken off balance. I'm amazed how quick he goes by Delonte Hunt. Delonte Hunt is quick, and they're definitely a foul in any league. But Jordan Johnson can just blow by guys.
He has such a quick first step, and he's able to change direction just really quickly, and it makes him so difficult to guard.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's going any faster. He must change speeds exceptionally well, but just the calmness and the poise he plays with continues to get it done.
Johnson up to 13 points off the bench for Manchester. And to make that 14, we're back to a 1-point game on the floor. Also a 1-point game on aggregate. Jakovic kicks it out to Garafolik. Garafolik sidesteps for 3! Drills it from outside.
Big time shot by the number 5, an inch of daylight. Sees that one go through.
As Johnson loses the ball, it's taken away by Zagreb. And the extra pass under the basket is stolen by Max Jones. And a blocking foul will go against Zagreb, so they pick up their second team foul.
We'll give Matt Nicholson some credit because he was the only guy back there and he was at the mercy of the defense. Allowed Max Jones to get out running, but Matt Nicholson read that play at the other end. It was a 2-on-1. And he stopped the score. A really nice play by the big fella. Jakovic thought he was still there, but he's leaning a little bit.
The Manchester ball from the sideline.
Well, the European North Basketball League has treated us to some good games already this season. None better than this one. We could have a barnstormer if this stays within contention for both teams.
It certainly has, and yeah, we've had some fantastic games in Manchester that we've been able to see in person. And this matchup between Dinamo has been absolutely fantastic. The last 2 times, the last 3 times now that they've met up, as Johnson steps back, doesn't get the roll.
Yeah, too open for Johnson. He prefers someone all over him like a cheap suit. That one a little bit easy, as Matt Nicholson once again reads that very well. You saw how he came over to help, then he jumped back to the guy he was guarding. That's 2 successive, really smart plays by Matt Nicholson. As he takes a well-earned break.
And Nicholson, a player that really does a lot of that work off the ball. He might never be the team's leading scorer, but he's going to set his teammates up, get them into position, and make those little extra tips to knock the ball out of bounds.
He does, and like Polutak, he really engages in the defensive paint. He doesn't let anybody turn a corner and see the basket, but talk about seeing the basket. Savic makes that one look like an easy layup with the outside 3. And here come Dinamo Zagreb.
And they stretch out that lead, as that's Garafolik hitting the 3-pointer. Takes the lead up to 7.
beg your pardon, I did think it was Savic. Both players look very similar wearing number 5 and number 9.
And that's 8 made threes for Zagreb as Smith Jr. stops and spins and puts it in.
Wow. Can you make that any more difficult?
Hunt looks to answer, can't get it to go.
Manchester with a chance to run.
And Smith Jr. out to Johnson. That's a deep 3. And a big rebound there from Osaboyan, and Manchester will get a second chance.
Well, Smith and Johnson are shifty when you are getting back defensively. Look how PJ Smith splits the defense. Gabe Osaboyan once again giving his team another chance to score.
And that's the impact that Osaboyan has, those offensive rebounds. As Johnson has Jones with space, connects.
Real good read by Jordan Johnson. Danced on the perimeter and could have forced the ball inside to the bigger players, and a wide open Max Jones says, thank you, I'll do the rest.
Hunt setting things up for Dinamo. Garafolic. And a whistle on the shot as Osaboyan went up to block the shot. It was called as a foul. So that'll be against Manchester.
Osaboyan a little bit emotional. He thought he had all ball. We're going to get the privilege of seeing a replay, and yes, he did get all basketball. However, when you're going at full speed, the referee's proving they're just human. You know, you can get one wrong out of every game. I think they've done an exceptional job up to now. The good thing is they let Gabe Osaboyan have his say and didn't give him a technical foul. So good refereeing.
So it'll be Emil Savic at the foul line. So we may have had a technical there.
Oh, we did.
Savic takes one free throw, and it was Bulatak that was fouled. So Bulatak will have free throws to come here.
I think you would expect that guys, you know, their emotions are going to boil over. Hard to play a game of such competitiveness without any emotion. So players like Osaboyan, who, you know, do tread that line, really sometimes get pulled up for that. But you would expect guys to play like it really matters.
So leads back up to 5 for Zagreb, and we'll have substitution here as Bulatak heads to the bench. A well-deserved rest for him.
We're already on double-double watch with Bulatak. He has 7 rebounds to go with those 12 points. So he is fast approaching a double-double.
Irvin, three's too strong, and a whistle off the ball.
Really unorthodox shot by Zach Irvin. Would it surprise you if I mentioned that he was one of the top 3-point shooters in his college days at Michigan?
He certainly was.
That's that kind of slingshot rotation going on, but who cares? If it goes in, it goes in.
Jones pulls the trigger, not that time. And Manchester really looking for that outside shot at the moment.
Yeah, they've had some good looks, just not able to get them to go down.
Vidovic from the foul line. Jones collects the rebound, and that'll be foul number 5 against Dinamo. So that sends Manchester to the line with both teams now in the bonus for the rest of the quarter.
And we saw this in the first half. We saw Manchester able to really put pressure on the defense when that foul count went to 4. And like you just said, 5 fouls means that they will go to the free throw line. So now Dinamo cannot stop Manchester's running game if Manchester are able to put 2 or 3 stops in succession together.
Jones with 16 points for Manchester, having hit 3 from behind the 3-point line. First one pops out.
How big are these missed free throws going to count for as we go down to the business end of the game?
Manchester shooting 13 of 19 from the line. as Jones gets the second. Yeah, and in tight games, it's not a game where you want to leave points at the line.
It's not. Max Jones has such a smooth jump shot from the outside, left-handed, follow through and the poise.
Hunt against Jones. Hunt floats it up. And ball's tipped out of bounds. It will be last touch Manchester.
Well, that's one you can't get mad at as a coach. Both Nicholson and Zach Irving going after the ball, uncontested, but you'd rather two players go after it than none. Just unfortunate break for Manchester. Dinamo will get the basketball back.
Arafolic looks to inbound. Rogic. And Rogic driving high off the glass.
I think Cal Carey fouled him twice, and then on the shot didn't foul him. So he's going to probably think, well, that's not a foul. Yeah, but the two before were, Kyle. So, oh, that one was too. That's a guy who brings it defensively, and he's going to pick up fouls. It's the nature of the beast. Can't take that out of him.
Rogic 10 points, 6 assists today for Zagreb, as the first one doesn't go.
Hasn't scored in the second half, I don't think, so he's been quiet, but probably because it was Deloney Hunt. He's had the basketball for most of the second half, but 4-point cushion here for Dinamo, and it seems as uncomfortable a 4-point cushion as you can see.
And seconds good, so takes the lead up to 5. That's a 3-point lead on aggregate for Dinamo. Johnson to Nicholson. Hands off to Jones. Jones, oh, great pass over to the big man. And Nicholson finishing under the rim.
Throw it down, big man, throw it down. It's Matt Nicholson with the finish. Nice pass by Max Jones.
Hunt against Jones. Rogic. Back out to Rogic, 6 seconds on the clock. And I think we've got a whistle on the floor. And that'll be against Carey.
Rogic is so good because he's always in triple threat. Whenever he catches the ball, never wastes the dribble, never puts it on the floor first. Just squares up and then you're at his mercy. He can go jab step right, jab step left. His footwork is exceptional.
Rogic representing the Croatian national team since 2021, playing in the Eurobasket qualifiers last year and the World Cup qualifiers in 2023.
So he is pretty good.
He is. he's been showing everyone that here in the ENBL. Also got experience playing in the BCL in Czechia and playing Europe Cup in Hungary. So a really experienced player. And as the second one doesn't fall. It's a 4-point lead for Zagreb. 2:20 to play as Nicholson slams it down. And that's 2 big dunks there for Nicholson.
Jordan Johnson with the vision goggles on there, saw him going right down the middle. Matt Nicholson tests the springs again on that rim.
7 assists for Johnson as Zagreb can't answer.
Maybe go right back to that here early on. Matt Nicholson coming up and setting the ball screen.
He's certainly got the looked like he had the mismatch just before, but with Kraljevic coming down there, that they do match up well, both 7-footers.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to react to what's in front of you, and right now Manchester will have an offense. Oh, Matt Nicholson is going out, but I just thought they should stay with that pick and roll with Johnson and Nicholson, but into the ball game is Duke Shelton.
Adatu Cassie, that's good. Was that a long 2? I think it was a toe on the line.
Yeah.
And we're back tied at 67 all. Manchester now up 2 on aggregate as Kraljevic answers.
What a pass from Rogic.
And it's back and forth basketball here in the third quarter. Ball's loose, picked up by Adatu Kassi. He'll take it all the way to the rack.
I did say earlier, whenever there's a breaking play and he gets the ball, it is not a bad option for Manchester. He can go all the way to the rim playing bully ball against the big men.
Rojic looking for some space.
Oh, nice pass.
And passes over to Garafolik, who finishes. That's a tough finish.
Garafolik moving so well without the basketball, ends up with the easy two. It's PJ Smith with a step back.
Gets his own rebound though and takes it inside. And Smith Jr. is on fire. 22 points for Smith Jr.
Well, Manchester have stood up and been countered. Zagreb know they are in a tough fight here at home. Speaking of tough fights, Duke Shelton is that guy.
And both teams in the bonus.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can argue that one, Mr. Shelton. He was tighter on him than a tattoo, I would say.
So Filip Kraljevic with 2 free throws here for Dinamo as Shelton picks up the foul.
Well, we get a chance to breathe a little bit, Kaz. We've had 3 or 4 minutes of back and forth basketball in a tie ball game here in Zagreb. Referee's going to check something again.
So go to the replay monitor.
I'm not sure that there's anything in this one, a high stakes game. And the referees may differ, but I think it's just everybody calm down. The fact that they've gone to look at the monitor may change the players going forward, but I don't think there's much in this one. Yeah, they're checking the 3.
So it looks to be a toe on the line there.
Only just. I think if he cuts his toenails, that one is a 3.
But that's the opportunity that the referees have to check if they want to. And they are saying, yeah, it's a long 2 on the floor.
Yeah, good job by the referees not stopping the game, because if they would have stopped that, we would have potentially not seen that up and down play that we've just seen. So they take the opportunity to go back and have a look.
So we go back to where we were, and that is the foul line with Kraljevic shooting 2 here for Dinamo. Kraljevic playing in his 16th season overall. That's a lot of basketball he's played.
For sure is, and credit him for keeping himself in such good shape. How deep are these benches? I mean, you look at both the Manchester bench and the Zagreb bench. You know, Kraljevic, he hasn't played much, and he comes in deputised for pull attack. He just plays really well. He could have 2 starting 5s, more or less.
You could, couldn't you? And that's quite a luxury for coaches to have, isn't it? As 19 seconds in the quarter. Johnson has the ball for Manchester. They can hold for the last shot here. Johnson looks for a path to the basket, leaves it short, and Dinamo will have time to get something up as Garafolik shot spins out, and that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. So it's a 72-71 lead for Dinamo Zagreb on the floor, and Manchester have a 1-point lead on aggregate.
I'm not sure psychologically who this favours, because you're down in the ball game, but you are still up in the competition. If this game ends, that means Manchester go through if the score is as it is right now, but I'm not sure whether that helps them or not, because I think just keep your eyes on the game. Unless this gets within this point with 40 seconds left, just try win the ball game.
So for Manchester, a win by any amount sees them through. For Manchester, a win by any amount or a loss by 1 point will see them through to the Final Four. And for Dinamo, they need to win by 3. If Dinamo win by 2, then we'll head to overtime.
So my take is this, Kaz. If Manchester can get Dinamo within that foul bonus of 4 fouls before 4 minutes remaining, I think they'll take this basketball game. It's a stat that you don't hear quite often, but the tail of the tape has been exactly that. They have not been able to play as physical when they're in foul trouble. So if Manchester can assert themselves, get some stops at one end and apply the pressure going the other way, we'll potentially see a Manchester victory. But Dinamo are well worth their money, and this one could go either way.
Dinamo have been shooting well from the foul line, 22 of 31 from the foul line to Manchester's 14 of 20. So actually they're both about, you know, they've probably hit around the same, both shooting 70%, but Dinamo have been able to get to the line more, so able to capitalise on those free throws.
Yeah.
So fourth quarter is underway, 10 more minutes to play for a spot in the final 4 as Hunt has possession. Garafolic inside, and that'll be a foul against Shelton. Basket's good and the foul.
Well, Shelton was backed up under the bucket. Being a big man himself, Garafolic made him look small. Went to the hook shot. Really nice touch by the veteran. I was just going to say, Bulatek starting on the bench. Nicholson back into the ball game.
We saw the impact that Matt Nicholson had out there for Manchester in that third quarter. Back-to-back dunks.
Yeah, he's had his rest now, Kaz, and he's back in. I don't think we'll see him go out unless there's any foul trouble.
As Kraljevic completes a 3-point play. Manchester working round the outside. Smith Jr. Smith Jr. out to Adatu Kassi, and shot spins out. Rogic has it. Out to Hunt. And stepping into the 3, splashes in from outside. Kraljevic. A huge shot for Dinamo.
You could tell as he crossed half court and walked into that, Kraljevic was gonna be locked and loaded. Strolled in as the trailer man knocks down the 3. What a shot by the number 47. Is that the momentum that they need?
That is certainly a huge shot for Dinamo. Stretches out the lead here in the fourth quarter. And a timeout called, and much like we saw when Manchester went on their run, forcing Dinamo into an early timeout, Manchester now taking the timeout.
The conundrum is Osaboyan is sat there, and you
back out on the court. It's Manchester ball. It's a 7-point lead for Zagreb. Johnson double teamed. Pass over to Nicholson, and Nicholson under the basket draws the foul. Kraljevic stops what was going to be a pretty certain basket there, it looked like, from Nicholson.
Yeah, it's a smart foul by Kraljevic. But they are going to jump Jordan Johnson every time he comes off that screen. And Matt Nicholson doing the right thing, making himself available under the bucket. Has to keep doing that. Manchester have to convert these opportunities. You do not want Zagreb to get with that 10-point cushion. Nicholson misses the first.
Nicholson 5th in the Super League in rebounds this season for Manchester with 6.7 a game. To graduate in Northwestern University in Illinois, where he spent 5 seasons, and gets the second. Leads down to 6.
No margin for error for either team right now. Just under 9 remaining in the ball game.
Garafolik. Oh, stops, spins, puts it in the basket.
Wow, he really manoeuvred his way to the bucket there with the left as Max Jones tries to respond, and he is off. Zagreb will slow this one down and play in their half-court offense.
Oh, shot from outside, that's too strong, but a big rebound from Garafolik. Savic, hands off.
Manchester look gassed here, Kaz. Looks like they need a timeout just to sit down and get some fluids in them.
As Hunt steps back, three's too strong, and a foul under the basket on the rebound.
Max Jones looked like he had inside position, just to possibly be hanging on.
So it will be the second team foul against Manchester. An 8-point lead here for Dinamo.
So we spoke earlier about the amount of games both these teams have had. Is that going to play a factor as well in terms of fatigue?
Rojic. Garafolik, 7 seconds on the clock. And we'll go again from the sideline. Fresh 14 for Dinamo.
Dinamo ticking over nicely in the half-court offense. Feels like that they're in control at this point.
Garafolik. Oh, floats it up, can't finish with the alley-oop. And Johnson back down the court for Manchester. Drive into the basket. 2 free throws for Johnson.
Smart move by Jordan Johnson as he'll go to the line. But Dinamo Zagreb playing really well in the half-court. Should have been a bucket at the other end for them. And they come up empty-handed. Can Jordan Johnson punish him from the free throw line and cut this one to a 6-point game on the night?
Johnson 14 points and 8 assists for Manchester. Make that 15 points. And both teams on 2 team fouls here. Something to watch with just over 7 minutes to play in the fourth as Johnson goes 2 of 2 from the line. Cuts the lead down to 6 on the floor and 2 and 4 on aggregate. We'll see Osaboyan check in for Manchester. Savic against Adatu Kassi. Hands off to Hunt. Back to Savic. 2 seconds on the clock, time running down here. And that should be a shot clock violation, it looks like.
Yeah, it's very rare that if it is that the players don't know that. It will be a shot clock violation, but it's a rarity that you have someone dribbling the basketball away from the bucket in that situation. So the lack of awareness there by Zagreb may come back to haunt them. Good defense by PJ Smith, denying Hunt the basketball there.
Manchester looks to put into this 6-point deficit. Smith Jr. to Jones. Jones looking for a path, finds it and lays it in. And we'll have a timeout called as it's a 4-point game.
Key there was as he turned the corner, he got into his steps quickly. Went off the right foot instead of going right left and laid it. It really surprised the defense. Kind of Folic hurt his hand in the process. But really good response by Manchester. This is a great ball game. It's
back and forth basketball as it's been an 8-5 run for Zagreb this quarter. We were tied at 24 all in the third, and it's like we said, teams have gone on their runs. And with 7 minutes to play, it's going to be a case of who can close it out.
So these teams have played each other on the 3rd time of this ENBL season here tonight. But you couldn't have predicted the style of game. You would have said Manchester would have got out running. Zagreb would have tried to keep them in the half court. Both teams have had their moments with different styles of play. So the evolution of both these basketball clubs within this kind of mini-series has been a joy to watch so far.
It definitely has. Manchester with just 5 fast break points to Zagreb's 14. But both teams are shooting really well from 3-point range. 9 for Dinamo and 9 for Manchester. So it will be Zagreb possession. Manchester picking up full court here.
Ooh, almost a 5-second violation. Must have been 4.99 when he got that basketball out of his hands. As a foul is called on Max Jones, holding Rogic. Possibly one of the only ways you can slow him down.
That'll give Manchester their 3rd team foul, so both teams on those 3 team fouls. They're really just matching each other here. As Hunt. Vidovic. 3 seconds on the clock. Vidovic passing inside. The buzzer, Kraljevic.
What a catch and what awareness he had, because going away from the basket looked like he had nothing.
Smith Jr. has Hunt on him. Osaboyan. Hands off to Johnson. Johnson going inside, blocked by Kraljevic.
Stop and go by Johnson, nearly fooled the defense, but you can't kid a kidder. Kraljevic sends that one back.
Great timing from Kraljevic, and we've just had a correction on the screen. So Dinamo on 2 team fouls. That 3rd team foul's been taken off. So Dinamo are on 2 fouls for this quarter.
So we're not yet at the period of starting to look at aggregate score. It's getting close, and you can't see this being anything but a close game going down the stretch.
Ball's out to Johnson, too strong, but Adin Cassie's there, cleaning up the glass.
In the right place, at the right time, Adin Cassie with the stick back.
It's a 4-point game. Rogic double teamed, looks to pass out. Kraljevic is there, great pass onto the baseline, and foul will go against Johnson.
Jordan Johnson just fell asleep at that moment. It was really good defense by Osaboyan once again, and Jordan Johnson just falling asleep. And I think he was bumped a few times by his opposing player. He says, I'm just going to get my own back a little bit.
So referees are going to review the play, see if there's anything more to that.
I think if they are reviewing the play from Jordan Johnson, I think it would be a really tough one to go any further with this. This is a game of high magnitude. You have to let them play. Yes, he does possibly have a body check and force that player out, but is it enough? Is there any wind up? Is it enough to really punish the play even further? We'll soon find out. The referees have a better angle than we do.
So it's been a 10-7 run for Dinamo this quarter. Approaching the halfway mark. And a place in the Final Four on the line.
This is a really big call, because it gives Dinamo a chance to get some more daylight between the two clubs. We'll see what they're going to go to.
And an unsportsmanlike is called, so that is a big call there. That's going to give Dinamo 2 shots and possession and a chance to stretch out this lead.
So you can see Tim Adin saying, everybody calm down, there's so much basketball to be played. What you have to do is keep going and keep playing your game. Jordan Johnson arguing the call, but will be fruitless anyway, as the free throw is missed. And as Rashid Wallace says, sometimes the ball doesn't lie. Is that the case? I don't think he said sometimes the ball doesn't lie. I think he said that on every free throw miss. He led the league in technicals that year for that, yeah.
He did.
in the NBA for just saying ball doesn't lie.
So Vidovic hits the free throw and Dinamo will have possession. It's a 5-point game. Rogic against Irvin. Oh, ball's knocked away by Osaboyan. Irvin racing up ahead, adds in 2 for Manchester.
What a play by Gabe Osaboyan. Once again picking the pocket of the defence and feeding his buddy Zach Irvin.
That's the pressure that he puts on the ball. As Hood passes round, gets it back. Rogic, and an offensive foul called, and that is Gabe Osaboyan. 2 huge plays there for Osaboyan, putting his body on the line, taking the charge.
Well, we're going to see it on the replay, and cometh the hour, cometh the man. Gabe Osaboyan has given everything to this basketball team, and if they come away with his victory, thank that man, because defensively he has been a menace.
So Rogic will head to the bench and picks up. So while we just wait for our stats to update, that may be the 5th on Rogic, but we'll get that confirmed as Johnson backs the ball out. Johnson,
oh, what a pass.
Inside to Irvin, gets the roll, and it's a 1-point game.
Momentum swings back to the road team. Both teams giving their all out here, and with under 5 remaining, it is a Manchester lead on aggregate as Gabe Osaboyan once again hits the deck and defensively is owning this basketball court.
He is going after every single possession, is Osaboyan. 3 straight plays and 3 huge effort plays there from Osaboyan.
Well, he had his left hand in on the first steal, and then he dove and grabbed that ball with his right. What a play by Gabe Osaboyan.
Johnson from the foul line, it's short. And Vidovic grabs the rebound. A 1-point Dinamo lead. As Hunt swings it round. And foul on the floor will go against Johnson. So just a quick update, Rogic on 4 fouls. That was the 4th.
That would have been huge, Kaz, if he'd have moved to that 5th foul. It would have been a scorer out of the ball game, and he was so good in the previous tie down the stretch. As Jordan Johnson picks up the foul, this time it'll be nothing more than a common foul, but...
And something to watch out for here. So Gabe Osaboyan for Manchester and Max Jones on 4 fouls.
I can't see Gabe Osaboyan playing any differently.
Garafolic doesn't get the first to go. Had a 6-steal game against Kayla earlier this season.
Gabe Osaboyan with only 2 points, but a plus-minus of 11 points. When he's on the floor, Manchester have been so good.
That is huge in a game that Manchester are down by 2.
Well, and he only has 2 points.
It just shows his impact and his presence and all that work he does off the ball. As Dinamo called for the foul, that's against Vidovic. This could be a game now, Jason, that could be won or lost down the stretch on free throws. As that puts Zagreb on 4 team fouls.
Yeah, so I did say that 4-minute mark was the key, but turnovers like that won't help as they'll run this one back and lay it in. Not a good play for Manchester. Still plenty of time to get it back.
Just under 4 to play here in the 4th quarter. 4-point Zagreb lead. Johnson looks for a way to the basket, kicks it out to Smith Jr., who nails it from outside. And PJ Smith Jr., 25 points and 6 made threes, cuts it back to a 1-point game on the floor.
Big time shot by PJ Smith, a big time assist by Jordan Johnson. Can Gabe Osaboyan stay out on this basketball court? Late shot clock here for Zagreb.
3 seconds and at the end of the clock, and we've got a wedgie. That's unlucky first for the shot to fall out, it popped down for Zagreb.
Such a breaking play because that was in the hands of Manchester basketball. It wedges and it means that Dinamo Zagreb will have the possession arrow. The only good news is the next one will go to Manchester, if you're a Manchester fan.
Hunt. And foul in the lane. This is certainly a game here, Jason, that's going to be. We could have some stoppages down the stretch here with the fouls.
Well, I think now it's reasonable to start talking about the aggregate score, because Manchester being 2 up from that first game,
Gives
they
them
go to the line here and make these free throws. It still means there is a tie ball game here in Zagreb. He misses, and every call, every play becomes magnified in this last 3 minutes.
It just becomes so crucial down the stretch.
Who would want to be a referee, Kaz? Not me.
As Garofolic gets a second, so tied. No, yeah, tied overall. That's some quick maths we've got to be doing, Jason.
I'll leave you to that.
As it's a 2-point lead on the floor for Zagreb. Johnson stops, spins. Oh, blocked!
Well, I think he did the smart play because he had nothing and he just threw the ball off the defense. So I would argue this is a really smart play by Jordan Johnson. Look, because they get the basketball back and he really was out of control with nothing.
And a chance to reset for Manchester.
Yeah. Newsflash, Jordan Johnson out of control. It's probably the first time we've seen that this season, but he still remains with the basketball in his hands. 10 seconds remain on the shot clock.
Ball's out to Adatu Kassi. Adatu Kassi going inside, takes it, and Osaboyan tips it in the basket. How big has Gabe Osaboyan been this fourth quarter?
And the man of the moment gets his second bucket of the game and still dominates in all areas. Gabe Osaboyan, give that man a cape.
Hunt for Zagreb. Hunt runs into traffic, has to pass out, and the ball bounces off the rim. Johnson will wait for the rest of the team to catch up as he swings it round to Smith Jr., who knocks it down from outside. And PJ Smith Jr., 7 threes, 28 points, coming up clutch for Manchester. And a timeout calls. And what a run here for Manchester.
We're going to fall in love with PJ Smith's outside three, but Gabe Osaboyan was that guy with the tip-in before that, and Jordan Johnson slows it down. He's back in control. PJ Smith says, take that. Timeout Zagreb.
That's a huge shot for Manchester and Smith Jr. as Manchester take the lead. 7 threes for Smith Jr., Jason. He hit 8 earlier in the Super League season against Surrey, but he has just been on fire these last few games.
Yeah, and you can tell from the body language and the way that he's really gone at the defense early on in the game. Sometimes the playbook has to go out the window and you have to just say, I'm going to make shots and I'm going to make plays for my team. And PJ Smith has done that. But these Dinamo Zagreb players are not yet done. There is an eternity of basketball to play, over 2 minutes remaining in the ball game, and they are still within striking distance. So Manchester, beware. Dinamo Zagreb, you know what they can do.
So a 3-point lead on the floor for Manchester, 5-point lead for Manchester overall after that 2-point win at home last week. Rojic, Polatak inside, and a foul. Was that an out of bounds?
Well, Gabe Osaboyan had the steal, and then Polatek went for the basketball and pushed him from behind. You can see it on the replay. Gabe Osaboyan, as Polatek puts it down, says, give me that, as he strips the defense, and it was the push in the back by Polatek that went, Gabe Osaboyan went and barked at his teammates. He has been the man.
So that foul puts Dinamo on 5 team fouls, both teams in the bonus. Osaboyan can't hit the first. But again, it's Gabe Osaboyan, just big play after big play for Manchester.
Jordan Johnson just saying, just stand a little bit to the left and you'll make it. In the heat of the moment, Jordan Johnson coaching his teammate how to shoot free throws.
And behind the back to Pilatek. Out to Rogic. Rogic swings it round, and again Osaboyan comes up with the steal. How big has he been for Manchester?
How many steals has he had, especially in crunch time? And if they hold on and win this ball game, Gabe Osaboyan has put in a performance for the ages. Only 4 points.
Osaboyan with 3 steals and a plus 15 in his time on the floor for Manchester. That means Manchester are 15 points better with him on the floor than off in a game that they're up by 3.
Now, you know I'm an arrogant guy, but I want to change the rules because charges should count as steals, because he has come up with the basketball in steals, charges, you name it. But whatever has happened, Gabe Osaboyan, I'm calling for a rule change.
I support that as Johnson hits the first free throw. So Manchester up 4 and 6 overall on aggregate as Jordan Johnson, with 1 more to come, gets the second.
Makes it a 3-shot game if you're going on aggregate.
93 seconds to play.
2 more stops from Manchester will get this one done. But the outside 3. Sorry, Kaz, I'm getting a little bit excited in here. Dinamo Zagreb with the response.
Cuts the lead down to 2 on the floor as Johnson passes too strong out of bounds, and Zagreb will get it back.
It was the right idea, and cool heads will prevail down the stretch. Matthew Watton saying everybody calm down, but it was the right idea from Jordan Johnson, just not executed right. Here comes Zagreb.
Rogic, he had the hot hand to start the game in the first quarter for Zagreb. As Rogic takes it, and an offensive foul again. It's Gabe Osaboyan.
What's the rule, Kaz? That's steal number 6 for Gabe Osaboyan as he takes that one right in the numbers. And he is always there. Look at that.
Osaboyan has just had a phenomenal fourth quarter.
Well,
the stops at the time that Manchester need the stops.
I'm not sure when general manager signed Osaboyan, she knew he was the defensive player in the year in college. I'm not sure she knew she was going to get a performance like this.
This has been an incredible run in the last few minutes from Osaboyan. Final minute of the fourth quarter. Adatu Kassi passing, and the ball will go the way of Zagreb. So Zagreb have a chance here.
4-point ball game here. In terms of aggregate score, will we have a timeout? And it did come off Zach Irving. Manchester need a stop.
Balls with Hunt against Smith Jr. Back to Hunt. Hunt stops, spins, out to the corner. Vidovic, shot short. Rebound from Johnson. And there'll be a foul against Zagreb as they try and stop that break. That will put Manchester at the free throw line. So Manchester up 4 overall on aggregate, and a chance to stretch this out at the foul line. 24.5 seconds to play.
So Dinamo have to be really, really concise in what they do at both ends of the court here. But Manchester, if Jordan Johnson can splash both of these through, it will mean they have a 6-point cushion with 24 seconds left. Dreamland for the English team.
And Manchester playing in their first season in the ENBL. A really successful season for them, obviously, as they are looking to try and move on to the Final Four. But they went 6-2 in the regular season, as did Dinamo Zagreb, as we have a timeout called on the floor. But how big an experience has this been for Manchester to be playing in the ENBL this season?
It's been huge, but both teams won't care about that going right into these last 20 seconds. They will put the ball in the hands of their playmaker, Deloney Hunt. Spacing out will be Rogic, and they will see if they can get an early 3. Manchester will have to be able to guard and see if they can stay in front. All the Manchester club needs is one stop, possibly a score at the other end, and it will be all she wrote. Dinamo Zagreb need a 3-point field goal.
And you're going to think Manchester will look towards Gabe Osaboyan if they do need a stop. He has been huge so far. So teams coming back out onto the floor. And it is Dinamo possession.
The key is, if you are defense now, which is Manchester, do not foul on any 3-point shooters. Do not stop the clock. A 2 is not going to hurt you. A 3 does. So play everything above that painted arc and make sure everything goes towards your bucket. If you're Zagreb, just take whatever the defense gives you and try score early.
And as a reminder, both teams in the bonus, a foul from either team will send the other to the line. So Zagreb looking to get some quick points on the board here, and they do!
What a shot.
Novicic, straight out of the timeout, puts the ball in the basket, cuts it down to a 2-point game on the floor. 4-point Manchester lead on aggregate.
Well, what a shot by Novicic. It was a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook going out of bounds, and Zach Irving played it really well, and Novicic keeps his team within this one.
17 seasons of basketball for Novicic, and that shows exactly why he's with Dinamo this season. So Manchester now take a timeout and talk it through, and that took a few seconds off the clock there.
It did, and a 4-point cushion. If you would have given them that before this game, they would have taken it. And 2 in this ball game. If you don't know the outcome, it's 2 in this ball game, but it's 4 overall in terms of aggregate score. So can Manchester not turn the basketball over? We don't want to repeat, if you're a Manchester fan, of the Yukon Duke game the other night. Wow.
Oh, that was a huge shot. That was a huge shot.
That was an absolutely huge one.
And if you're Dinamo here, do you want to, I mean, you can foul, you can send Manchester to the line and get the ball back quickly, or do you try and go for that stop first? Don't take too much time off the clock.
Not enough time left to see if you can get a steal. You'll try get that 8-second violation, but as soon as that ball crosses half court, you have to foul. Only 23 seconds remaining on the shot clock, and they do the right thing and apply the pressure to PJ Smith. He'll have to walk the distance and shoot these 2.
So Smith Jr. will go to the foul line, and that took around 1.5 seconds off the clock for Dinamo. So they will get the ball back after these shots. Well, unless Manchester rebound, obviously.
Yeah, they will. But sorry, I thought there was a little bit more remaining on the shot clock, but 18.1 is all we have left of this game.
So Smith Jr. at the foul line for Manchester, 28 points, having hit 7 threes, gets the first free throw.
Has the chance to move to 30 points here on the road.
And that's only Smith Jr.'s second free throw of the night. And he does take himself to 30 and puts the lead back to 6 overall for Manchester. Dinamo need to go quickly. Hunt's there. Oh, blocked by who else? Gabe Osaboyan. Have yourself a game. Nearly ran out of the gym.
He is a luxury to have on any team. There is not many players get that enthused about defense. Gabe Osaboyan, what a player. What a game he's had here tonight.
And under the basket again, back-to-back buckets from Novicic as Manchester will be fouled again. And again, a few seconds ticking off the clock. As Smith Jr. is just helped up there by Savic. And it will send Manchester back to the free throw line.
So still a 4-point cushion for Manchester, but Dinamo making tough shot after tough shot. Still stay within the game. Do not go anywhere yet. If you have watched the ENBL this season, you will know that the unexpected is to be expected.
Osaboyan has been absolutely on another level this last half of the fourth quarter.
He has been great. And I mean, with 4 points to his name.
Smith Jr. misses the first.
Still a 2-shot game. Both teams are aware of the aggregate score. So still a 4-point margin, a 2-shot game here in Zagreb. Dinamo will try push the ball and go the distance quickly. As they take it out of bounds, it should be in the ball of Cameron Hunt. Sorry, Deloney
Hunt has it with 8 seconds. It's a 5-point Manchester lead. Overall, a deep 3. Bounces off the back iron. Another chance won't fall. And that will do it. Manchester moving on to the final four in the ENBL in their first season. What a comeback from them, having been down 18 points earlier on. And Gabe Osaboyan, Jason, just talk about that fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, first of all, Dinamo Zagreb take a bow because they have been so good. And then you talk about PJ Smith with 30 points, Jordan Johnson there with 20. But the man of the moment tonight, Gabe Osaboyan, he has been phenomenal. 4 points only to his name. You could look no further than that. But defensively, he has just been the reason Manchester Basketball are walking out here with a victory. An absolute winner as his coach. Yeah, go shake his hand because you know he has been the best player on the basketball court.
A plus 15 along with 3 steals, 6 rebounds and his 4 points. And leading the way for Manchester, Patrick Smith Jr., 31 points, 5 rebounds, making 7 threes from behind the three-point line. Yeah. He was massive.
He was huge, but I feel for him because it's all going to be about Gabe Osaboyan. Because defensively, I mean, he's changed the culture of this basketball team. I mentioned it on Sunday in the domestic league that he's just added that chippiness. I think he's one of the reasons that they have gone up so close against London in the SLB. But look at that, you know, Dinamo Zagreb applauding their fans. Sportsmanlike performance by them, and they have been really, really good. So you don't want to forget how they brought the game. But there it is, 94 plays 97. Manchester Basketball going on.
Just such a close matched game between both teams, and it was Hrvoje Garafolic with 22 points in 32 minutes, leading the way for Dinamo, along with 5 rebounds. And then Imran Pulatak with 14 points, 7 rebounds. And Roko Rogic, 12 points, 9 assists for Dinamo. And then off the bench for Manchester, Jordan Johnson, 20 points and 11 assists, a double-double for him.
Just keeps ticking over nicely, Jordan Johnson. We'll see the highlights here, and that seems like an eternity ago. It was Dinamo Zagreb that got out early and got out of the gate firing, and then Manchester kept it within striking distance. I mean, they did really well to hang on in there in the first half, Kaz, and the second half, it was all theirs.
And what a swing as well. We saw in the first leg in Manchester. Manchester had a lead of 15. Dinamo were able to come back and put into it. And then today, Dinamo took the lead by 18 earlier on. Manchester fought their way back in, and it was just neck and neck from around the second quarter.
It was. Dinamo Zagreb were really, really good. I'm not sure they can have done anything else apart from not have Gabe Osaboyan on this basketball court, but they played so well. Credit to them and their franchise for what they've brought to this ENBL this season, but their season will end and Manchester will go on and keep it rolling. But what a game Dinamo Zagreb, Deloney, Hunt and co have had.
What a matchup between these two teams.
It's too early. The bed is so warm. My body feels sore. But excuses won't sculpt my future. It's time to rise. Strength isn't found in the comfort zone. It's built through the challenges, where you're reaching for your potential, pushing past limits and reaching new heights. I've found my strength. Now it's your turn. My Fitness, world-class gym and studios.